everyone. Welcome to Our Two Cents. I'm your host, Clinton Smith. I am here today with our special guest, Linda Lehmann, and our financial advisor, Galen Bargerstock from GCES. Linda, Galen, how are both of you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I know you guys at home are watching our show religiously, so I'm sure you tuned in last week where we had an episode with Linda and we talked all about Rhythmia Life Advancement Center. Today we're not going far from that. We're going to be talking all about the art of transformation. So Linda Lehmann is a mindset and transformation coach at Joyful Living Health. So I'm assuming you're the CEO, the power, the driving force behind Joyful Living Health.
Yes, I am. Nice. I'm so excited about my business because it really stems from my son. My son is a successful CPA, and you know, he is the real frontier of this, where he told me as his mom, he said, "Mom, you know what you need to do is you need to help other women out there and other people that have gone through what you've gone through, and how to help them be the best versions of themselves." That's really when I started Joyful Living Health.
Yeah, and we did talk about this before, but I'm going to bring it up again. You know, your tag on your Facebook page is "Health is our wealth." And at GCS, we talk about this all the time, Galen, how health, wealth, and happiness all are intertwined. It's a synchronicity relationship where in retirement, a lot of people think, hey, I have to retire, I need a lot of money. Well, if you're not happy, you're not going to be healthy. And in turn, that's going to affect how much you are wealthy.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, you've seen this on a day-to-day basis where people need to change their mindset, or they're just not in the right mindset.
Yeah, I mean, people in a financial aspect of, you know, healthy living, finance, it relates to absolutely everything that you're doing, you know, whether you're trying to connect with yourself for and many different reasons, but what you're doing is you are financing yourself through life to have the life that you want. Whether that's being not understanding what you're doing about money with it, but money plays a part into everything. Even some of these courses and classes that you're trying to do, you need money in order to get those classes done. So the financial aspect is in everything that we do in any aspect of life, but it really hits home when it comes to the self-empowerment thing.
Yeah. And Linda, I know, so you touched on this briefly, that your son kind of pushed you in this direction, but I'm assuming that you had already gone through something where he watched from afar, or even maybe close up, watched you make a transformation yourself. Can you tell us tell us your story about that, about how you came to want to do this?
Yes, absolutely. So what it really came down to is my understanding that I literally just rewired my brain, and I went through the Joe Dispenza methodologies of understanding neuroplasticity, that we really can rewire our brain. And then I understood about all of these paradigms that I had in my life that were holding me back, that really no longer served me. And so I learned how to get rid of them. I learned the techniques of incorporating meditation in my life. Yeah. And just getting in tune with myself. And it is all about happiness. We have to be happy. We have to be happy with who we are. And that's when, like Galen said about that empowerment. We all need to feel empowered and to know who we really are. And that's when I started this community of, like-minded people that just want to escalate in life and be the best versions of themselves. And it is about mind, body, spirit, and just getting in tune. And it does go into the fact, I do talk to a lot of people about their fear of finances. They're at maybe that retirement age, and they don't really know who they can truly trust. Yeah. Well, first off, they have to trust themselves and know where they are at. But then to be able to rely on someone that's dependable, that isn't going to take advantage of us,
Yeah.
That's big.
The reason we invited Linda, we met her at a retreat in Costa Rica, and if you haven't watched the episode last week, go back and watch that. But her things that she talks about, her business also correlates, and as a lot of the things that we talk about at GCES, our companies look very similar on the stuff that we talk about. But we're more on finances, and you're more on a mindset and transformation, going in that regards. But at GCES, we understand that both of those things go hand in hand because we've seen it before. And I'm sure that you had this moment. I want to talk about ours. With that mindset of growing and continuing your journey, one of the things that I know that we have thought about with our journey through this, because we started out with transcendental meditation, and we went on to different things where it's been a continuous journey and helping ourselves. One of the things we recently realized is that at GCES, we can help people with their finances, but we want to do episodes like this right now because we want to help people be better, take better care of themselves mentally. Do you know what I mean? There's so much going on in the world. I have almost tried to block out the news where I'm on different treadmills, so Planet Fitness has a treadmill that is for St. Jude's Hospital. I don't know if you know about this, but I guess Planet Fitness has 2 treadmills that two of them have a sticker on it that says mileage on this treadmill benefits St. Jude's. So I've been trying to go to that treadmill if it's open whenever I go to the gym, but it's right in front of the news, so it's conflicting for me because I want to help St. Jude's, but I also don't want to watch CNN the whole time because I don't want to be in that negative mindset. And it's all about mindset. Finance is about mindset. Deciding you're ready to retire is about finance.
Yeah. Everything that you're ever going to do in life is your finance. It is mindset.
Yeah. So guys, we're going to be back in just a minute. We're going to talk more about transformation, the mindset. If you're at home right now and you're thinking, I could do better with how my mind is set and the things I think about, we're here to help you. Linda is here to help you as well. You'll see her information on the bottom of the screen. And we're going to share her information as well on our Facebook page. But we'll be back in just a moment after this quick break.
To me, a successful retirement isn't measured by money or amount of dollars that people have. We measure it more on happiness.
If you haven't started your retirement journey, it's good to actually just take the first step. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to commit to anything if you don't want to, but just taking the first step of reaching out and finding out what you have and then going from there. You have to know what you have to know where you're going.
Start it sooner rather than later is probably the biggest thing that I would say to people. A lot of people want to wait until they're right at the edge of retirement, and there's not a lot that we can do for a client whenever you want to retire in 30 days. 5 to 10 years before retirement is a lot better. We can do a lot more for people.
The best advice that I can always give somebody is just take the first step and, reach out and ask questions. You're not going to know what to do or what to expect until you ask the questions, and it's non-judgment at our office, so ask away.
As people, we strive for better, from a better house to a better career to a better life for our kids. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? More income, a flexible lifestyle, better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary financial analysis, call the number you see here. Your retirement isn't going to plan itself, and this is your opportunity to plan better.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Clinton Smith, the CEO of GCES and the host of Our 2 Cents. I'm here today with Linda Lehmann, who is a mindset and transformation coach, and our financial advisor at GCES, Galen Bargerstock. You're also our president, too. El Presidente.
Couple titles.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it depends on the day what title he's going to use. So we're talking about mindset and transformation, which is a huge thing, Galen, that you deal with everyone. You're taking them from being in that mindset of working, oftentimes at the post office, to being retired. And I know that we've talked about this, about having a plan and, deciding what you should do. Can you give me an example of a time where someone didn't handle the transformation or the transition from working to retirement so well? Have you had any times where people just go back to work because they can't figure out something else to do with themselves.
Yeah. But I mean, what you're saying also has another spot to it. That's why a lot of people won't retire, is because they're afraid of, what am I going to do? So it's that whole transition of trying to get you in the mindset of working, grinding, to, all right, well, now I can relax and breathe. Do I have enough so I can breathe? And what are your worries going to be into it? So tons of people have mixed emotions about retirement. But at the end of the day, what I tell everybody that I sit down with, 3 months, 4 months after you retire, no matter what your feelings are, everything is going to calm down, and you're going to find a new way of life, a new pattern, because you are going to have a different circle of friends, not coworkers. There's just so much involved with it that your life is going to be different.
Yeah. And that's, I'm sure, Linda, being a mindset and transformation coach, that you deal with a lot of people. Would you say that you have to convince people into making the changes or transforming, or are they already at that point where they found you, they know this is what they want to do, or are you busy trying to talk people into doing it?
That is an awesome question.
Sorry.
Because here it is. We were talking about this whole thing about everybody's in fear. It wasn't just because of COVID. When people had this fear factor that came into their lives, I believe it's everyone, where we have this fear of aging. Is one of the biggest deals, and that is just something that we can't have in our lives, is any kind of fear of growing old, fear of not having enough financially. And so that's where I play in with saying that we have to embrace, the aging process and give life to our years.
Yeah.
And that takes away it empowers people to just be, just to embrace where they are, but to get excited about there's so much more life ahead.
Yeah.
And when it comes to health, and when it comes to wealth, and what do they want to do? Let's go travel. I want everyone to wake up in the morning and think that they're going on a field trip.
Yeah.
It's so exciting. Who am I going to meet today? What am I going to do today? And just to get, and it's not phony. It's the fact we have to embrace life.
Yeah.
And not have any fears or worries.
I really think one of the things that we've been concentrating on, are really, literally last week, we were on the way back from a trip, and we got stranded in Corpus Christi, Texas. By the way, on an international flight, Corpus Christi, Texas does not have customs. So we sat on the plane for 9 hours. We ended up staying at a hotel, not a very nice one, overnight for like 6 hours, got a little bit of sleep, and then was on another 12-hour day in flights. All of this, normally for me, I would have been in the mindset of, I hate this, I'm going to burn down the airport. Like, I would have not been a happy camper, but all of the work we've been doing in our episode last week, Rhythmia, has led me to be okay with it. And then everything works out for a reason. I got to meet somebody famous in the Pittsburgh airport on the way from the plane to baggage claim that I was so happy about. Lydia Collins, if you're watching, I got to meet you at the airport. So thank you so much. But that really, I think people have to change their mindset. And someone I saw on TikTok last week said that all of the bad things that you have in your life it's crazy once you realize that it was how you decided to feel about them on your own. And a lot of times people just really need to be changing how they're feeling and how they're thinking in their mindset, or in their own mind, and what your inner monologue really is like. And I'm sure you've worked with a lot of people on improving their inner monologue too.
Absolutely. And that's why I do believe that I am strong enough that I do know these tools and techniques. And that's why, like I said, integrating fitness, understanding how you eat, ideally cutting out alcohol, which is like the lowest frequency of any kind of liquid, and then of course, just having that understanding that you got to be in tune with your intuition. Yeah. You have to trust yourself, and therefore you have to love yourself. And it took me, I'll be honest with you, I'm still on that self-love journey. We have to be, embrace who we are.
Yeah.
and just live life and enjoy it.
I don't think any one of us will ever be like Buddha. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be an endless journey forever.
Maybe I'm going to try.
You're going to try.
I always want to build more and more. So if there's something else that sounds fun and inspirational, sign me up and let's go do it.
So modest too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And humble. The most humble of them all.
Right.
So if you were going to sum it up, before we go to our next break, if you were going to give someone at home, because I know right now at home, we're a financial advisory company, Galen's a financial advisor. There are people at home that are like, what are you guys talking about? It all works together. But if someone was at home trying to decide, do I want to retire? Do I not want to retire? What is the best advice that you could give someone looking at that decision? Should I retire? Regardless of what their financial world is like, what advice would you give them?
Well, first off, okay, so I'm going to just share the whole fact that we have to know how to really think for ourselves. We have to lay out, our life plan, and that incorporates another tool that I share with people is to do a lot of journaling. Write down where you really are, and that will in turn, give you confidence to really understand your life path. Where are you at with your fitness? Where are you at with your health? And then it ties in, obviously, with financial.
Yeah.
And so not only just in trusting themselves, but they have to know that they have to get educated with who are the people that they can trust in their lives. And from there, then, to rely on that person, to be able to have a good communication. With them.
Which that's the whole reason we're here, guys. If you're at home watching, there's a number on the screen, 888-391-3465. You can give us a call. Galen is a financial advisor. He has the fiduciary responsibility to do what is right and the best thing that he has to do for you. You can give us a call and schedule an appointment while we're on this next commercial break. And when we come back, we're going to share more about Linda and being a life and transformation coach. And we're going to talk to her about those things and more on how to get in contact with her if you're interested in working with her as well. But we'll be back right after this break. See you in a moment, guys.
To me, a successful retirement isn't measured by money or amount of dollars that people have. We measure it more on happiness.
If you haven't started your retirement journey, it's good to actually just take the first step. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to commit to anything if you don't want to, but just taking the first step of reaching out and finding out what you have and then going from there. You have to know what you have to know where you're going.
Start it sooner rather than later is probably the biggest thing that I would say to people. A lot of people want to wait until they're right at the edge of retirement, and there's not a lot that we can do for a client whenever you want to retire in 30 days. 5 to 10 years before retirement is a lot better. We can do a lot more for people.
The best advice that I can always give somebody is just take the first step and, reach out and ask questions. You're not going to know what to do or what to expect until you ask the questions, and it's non-judgment at our office, so ask away.
Retirement planning can feel overwhelming. We make it simple because you deserve a future you can feel confident about.
Since 2010, we've helped thousands of federal employees, teachers, and healthcare workers and professionals in every field navigate their TSPs, their 401ks, their pension, as well as take care of long-term planning.
A secure retirement isn't just about savings. It's about having a strategy that protects your health, builds your wealth, and supports your happiness.
We want to build that plan together with you. There's no stress, no sales gimmicks, just a team that cares. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Our Two Cents. I'm your host, Clinton Smith, and I'm here today with Linda and Galen, and we are talking all about mindset transformation and changing your life for the better. Ultimately, we are a financial advisory company. We work with people to understand their retirement and their finances, but you also incorporate that into your transformation journey and talking with people about understanding what they have and where they're going, really.
Absolutely. So my thing is, I start with the mind, is that we have to know how to think for ourselves. And how is that thinking? Is it negative? Is it in fear? And so I'll just give you an example. I've had a lot of different clients that have come to me that they just feel like they're in a state of chaos. They don't really even know who they are. And, you know, they want to do that next step where they want to go travel or figure out their finances if they can just totally retire, or do they have to keep holding on to something. And I do a lot of one-on-one sessions with people. I do group sessions. I also, part of our community, we go on retreats. And we talk about, we encompass everything about the mind, body, and spirit. And finances always play in because everything we want to do costs money.
Yeah.
And so to know that you have that security, you know, we just talk about where are you at with, you know, having a Roth that's ideally like tax deferred or something, or, you know, so it always ends up playing in, but I always have to refer them to someone who is like the advisor to help them out. And so it is always part of my business.
Yeah.
When people,
So guys, you can always give us a call, 888-391-3465. That's actually what we do. If you're thinking about retirement, Galen or Levi, one of our financial advisors, will come out and sit down with you and explain to you everything that you have. Now, if you're confused about retirement and needing help with that transformation, Linda here can help you.
Yeah.
And her information is on the screen. There's a QR code to help you get in contact with her. But Linda, if somebody was looking and they wanted to find you out on the internet, where's the best place to get in contact with you?
Perfect. So I am on Instagram. My business is Joyful Living Health, and I'm also on Facebook, and you'll see my QR code up there too. And yeah, definitely just reach out to me anytime. I set up clarity calls just to, you know, get you going just to be transparent where you are.
Yeah.
And in my world, one of the things is why I'm actually like this humble magnet where people come to me, is because they know I'm the most non-judgmental person.
Yeah.
And I'm a confidant. And so I'm holding up to that, you know, I'm there for anybody that wants to,
And that's really awesome. I really think, you know, in our journey over the last couple months between going to the Rhythmia Life Advancement Center and, you know, working here, we've really thought about what we want to do at GCES and how we want to help people. And we've wanted to concentrate in these last 2 episodes on people's happiness, because happiness, it is all hand in hand. You can't be healthy, wealthy, and happy, like one of them gives and takes to the other. So it's really, I'm sure you talk to people about going through that financial mindset, and once they have their finances in order, they can then probably concentrate on the other areas of taking care of themselves.
I think that a lot of people don't even realize that some of the things that are going on in their life is a financial problem. And if you're addressing that financial problem, some of the things that you're worrying about are going to automatically go away on their own. So the whole process is just understanding, but you know, like Linda just said, you know, the consultation, everything with us is a free consultation when we're talking the first time we meet. I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me, and we're talking, having that conversation, and then we kind of go from there. If we part ways, we part ways, but at least we both listened to what each other had to say, and even if you don't become my client, which I want you to, you are going to have some sort of peace of mind that I'm going to leave you with something, a takeaway that you could work on financially.
Yeah. And we also offer a holistic approach at GCS too. We, you know, most financial advisors probably aren't going to talk to you about your happiness or about offering a mind or transformation coach. So we also too, now at GCS, we are going to be offering, you know, if you work with us, you can get a complimentary clarity call with Linda to really go over everything to make sure that you're on track for retirement. And that's something that you can get through us. But Linda, again, if anybody wants to get in contact with you, what do we search on Instagram, or do you know your tag?
Yeah, it's Joyful Living Health.
Joyful Living Health. So guys, check her out. It is definitely something that you can bring into your life. You know, we talk about, it's not really self-help to me, it's self-care or self-empowerment is something that we want, you know, our clients and the people that are watching this show to take advantage of. And there are definitely things out there. Real quick before we go, how do you help people in a transformation, there's kind of like a change happening. What steps do you take with people to help them kind of look forward and be forward thinking on understanding, because transformation, you're going to change somewhere through that. That's kind of in the word. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I love it.
How do you help them determine that path and where they're going to go?
Absolutely. So this is why I, really embrace the fact that I know what neuroplasticity is, and I get that point across to my clients that you can totally rewire how you're thinking, and you have to use that holistic, all the tools. And so throughout our journey of living our best lives, we have to remember to be disciplined with ourselves when it comes to all these techniques, like the minute you wake up in the morning, to just be grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude plays like the main theme of what I convey to people, is just to be really grateful and to use all these tools and techniques of meditation and journaling and just really, walking not in nature, but walking with nature, and just really embracing who you are. And, like Galen said too, if you got like a fear about finances, once you get that happiness going on and strategically where you are, these things kind of go by the wayside.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we're in the journey together.
Yeah.
And so it's
and
good.
I just want to say it's been so awesome meeting you and getting to work with you on these last 2 episodes. I know that there are going to be people from our group in Rhythmia, Lightworkers group number 409, that I want to give a shout out to. All of our friends. We're going to send you some pictures in our WhatsApp message. But it's been an amazing time, and I know Galen and I have been so glad that you could come here and do this with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you're
so
at home watching, please check out Linda. If you're trying to decide on making that transformation from working to retirement, she can help you make that transformation. If you're looking for a financial advisor, give us a call. The number is right there on the screen, 888-391-3465. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Next week, we're going to be talking about winging it, so make sure you tune in. See you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.